So I'm going to be in town, like, I don't know. I'm thinking sometime in like a couple months. Like, is it cool if I, just like crash at your house for an indeterminate amount of time while I'm there? It's Hatening. It's Hatening. It's the Hoop. It's the Hatening. It's Hoop. We are in the West Coast studios again today, and I will be talking about being a house guest because I currently am a house guest while I'm staying in Los Angeles. So it's something that's been on my mind, but it's also something that, everybody has dealt with on, one end or another, right? And I guess, like, first of all, like, it should be addressed that there is, like, a certain amount of, like, I don't know if it's really privilege, but, like, not everyone can, like, go to, like, a desirable location and be like, oh, I have a friend there, let alone, like, I have a good enough friend there that, like, I can avoid having to get, like, temporary housing in terms of, like, a hotel or Airbnb or whatever, because I can just, like, stay at my friend's house, whether that's, like, on a couch or in a guest room or something, right? So, like, I suppose that needs to be addressed first, is that not everyone really can just, like, travel and then be like, oh yeah, it's cool because anytime I'm in this town or this city or this region, like, I have the hookup, right? I have, like, available, like, housing that isn't going to cost a lot, or, like, it still does technically cost in terms of, like, not like chore sharing, but you know what I mean? Like, you pull your weight around the place to make up for the fact that, like, you're not really kicking out any cash. But, like, I don't know, like, I obviously, like, I've been in bands for a long time, and, like, part of touring is, like, crashing at the homie spot, and a lot of it is, like, sort of, like, based on this idea that, like, all right, like, if I let you guys stay at my house after the show while you're in my town, then, like, when I go to your town, it would be cool if I can stay with you guys, or you guys can, like, hook me up, right? And that's how I have met a lot of my, like, out-of-town friends, is, like, through band stuff. And, like, I feel like a lot of my homies that I met through the greater scene, whatever that means, right? Like, everyone's, like, pretty used to, like, sleeping on couches or having people sleep on the couch, or, like, at the house, or, like, in sleeping bags. You know what I mean when I say, like, on the couch, like, sometimes sleeping bags or guest rooms or whatever the fuck. But, like, I feel like most of my friends, or, like, a lot of, like, my larger social bubble, like, we're all used to that kind of, like, traveling and, like, crashing type of shit. So, like, it isn't weird for me to ask most of my friends, like, hey, can I crash on the couch? And the same way that it wouldn't be weird for them, right, when they're coming to Baltimore, like, for whatever reason, to be like, hey, can I crash for a couple days? And, like, they know what that means. Like, I will provide them with, like, enough amenities to be comfortable. If you want to do some extra shit, you can, but, like, you know what I mean? Like, I got you on, like, a place to stay and all that kind of shit, the same way that I know that you kind of do, and so that's kind of like what I'm doing right now in LA, actually. And it's nice. Like, it's really cool. Like, I haven't done it in a while. I especially haven't done, like, the house guest thing for, like, an extended period of time. Like, normally when I do travel, like, it's been, like, a couple days at most, like, maybe, like, a long weekend. So this is the first time I've really, like, been at someone else's place, like, for a week. Like, that's how long I'm out here. And it's cool. Like, it really is cool. I miss traveling in general, but, like, being a house guest or, like, crashing at someone's house, like, it's weird, right? Like, because there are some people where, like, like, if you're staying at their place, like, they kind of expect you to hang out with them the whole time, or, like, not even, like, if you're hanging out with them, but, like, if they're hanging out with you, you know what I mean? You know what I mean by that? Like, no matter if, like, you're the, giver or the receiver of the crashing, right? Like, it's kind of, like, expected, like, when we hang, like, when I'm in town, when we hang out, like, I'm kind of following you around, or, like, I will be hanging out with you the whole time, or I want you to hang out with me the whole time. And that's a whole fucking thing. And then there's, like, the other homies or the other people who, like, when they show up in town or when you go out there, it's kind of like, yeah, I'm literally just, like, crashing here, and either, like, you have a key or, like, the door's open or whatever, and you kind of just, like, come and go as you please, and, like, do your own thing, and you're basically just, like, using this as, like, a free hotel room, right? So there really is, like, a large, like, difference between, like, the possibilities for, like, how you interact with your host, let's say, or your boarder, you know what I mean? And I definitely like when I go to, like, other people's places, like, I like hanging out with them, obviously, because we're friends, and I think that it is really, like, fucking fun to hang out with your out-of-town friends, and just, like, kind of show them around or get shown around and do, like, the silly touristy things, right? But also, like, there is something to be said of, like, going to a foreign place, or, like, a different place, rather, and just, like, not doing the same shit you do at home, but, like, if you're comfortable enough, if you're, like, you know, on good enough terms, or have that type of relationship with the people who you're with, like, that you guys can just, like, you know, get takeout and fucking, like, watch TV and, like, smoke weed and just, like, chill. Like, you don't have to go out and, like, do whatever city every single night, right? So, like, it's kind of cool when, like, when the guest can be acclimated somewhat into, like, the regular activities that are enjoyed by, like, the people hosting. You know, meaning, like, you take your house guest to fucking trivia, you take them to the bar that you like, you know, you take them to your friend's show or, like, another party. Like, that's a whole other thing, too. Like, when you have an out-of-town guest and then you, like, take them to a party, or take them to somewhere where, like, everyone knows each other very well, and then you're just throwing in, like, hey, what's up, my, like, out-of-town friend's gonna come hang out. Like, that's a whole, like, social anxiety time bomb on everyone's end, I suppose. But, like, it's cool, like, when you get thrown into someone else's world, like, when you're traveling, right? And then, like, at the same time, like, it is also cool when, like, you can kind of, like, break off and do your own stuff if that's, like, what you're into. And I definitely have done that a decent amount, like, when traveling, where it's kind of like, I need space, or, like, I need to do my own thing. And, like, if you're lucky enough to be in an area where, like, you can walk, or, like, there's, like, readily available, like, convenient and reliable public transportation, like, you can kind of get around, right? Because I feel like a lot of people who travel, like, have had those days where, like, you're in New York, you're in Chicago, you're in, you know, Atlanta or something, or you're in, like, fucking Houston or Austin, and you're just like, I'm hanging out with the homies, but, like, the homies going to work, and I just kind of want to do my own thing. You know what I mean? Like, that shit's really important. That shit is really fun, and it's interesting to see how, like, people react with that, and then, like, crashing at someone's house. Because I have, like, I've never been involved in it, but I have definitely seen it happen a lot, where, like, people fight, or people get, like, upset, where it's like, you know, so-and-so came to town, but they don't want to hang out. They wanted to go do their own thing tonight. You know what I mean? Like, I have definitely seen that. And I've also seen, like, the other end of that, where it's like, yeah, I thought we were going to, like, hang out this whole week, but, like, blah, 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 it's just, like, been busy. So, like, I don't know. It's, like, kind of fucked up. Like, they're just using me for, like, a place to stay, right? So there is, like, you do need to have a lot of communication when you're staying at someone's house, but also, like, there's a lot of, like, etiquette that goes into, like, crashing, where, like, it's very, like, you know, party to party in terms of, like, enforcement or, like, severity. But, you know, like, if you're crashing on someone's house, and let's say, like, you're crashing in the living room, like, I always feel weird about, like, where my stuff goes, and, like, leaving the smallest, you know, footprint possible, you know, just in terms of, like, taking over living space, unless, of course, like, there is, like, a guest room situation, in which case, like, that's fucking tight. But then even then, it's like, should I live how I normally live in my bedroom, because I'm, like, kind of messy, or, like, since I'm in someone else's house, like, do I have to, like, put my stuff away? You know what I mean? Like, how tidy do I need to keep this, because it is in someone else's house, and I want to respect, you know, their shit, but at the same time, they told me to make myself comfortable, and that kind of means, like, all my shit's spread out everywhere, you know? And then, like, just, like, when people are crashing or whatever, like, do you try to integrate yourself into, like, the daily, like, housework flow, right? And then try and, like, not take a spot on the chore wheel, but, you know, just be like, I'll wash dishes, I'll make dinner, I'll take out the trash, like, let me clean the bathroom, like, you know what I mean? Like, kind of, I'll vacuum, like, you, like, do you try and, like, show your appreciation, or your, like, you know, like, your desire to be part of the unit by, like, picking up these tasks? Or do you take it the other way, and you're like, look, like, I want to stay out of here, and, like, be, like, neither seen nor heard, you know, so you, like, don't really engage with, like, the normal activities in the house. Like, do you use the kitchen, or do you eat out, right? Like, if you're crashing at someone's place, like, that's, like, a very, like, interesting part of, like, crashing with people that, like, I don't know, like, I never really think about it until I'm in that situation. So it's, like, interesting to me, right? Because I definitely have friends where, like, if I'm at their house, like, I don't give a fuck, you know, like, I'll do laundry, like, I'll fucking use the kitchen, like, I will cook, I'll do my own dishes, I'll, like, load the dishwasher if it's around, right? You know, because there's just, like, that level of familiarity. But then also there's, like, other people where it's like, I don't know if I would, like, take a shit in your house if I was staying there, you know? Or it's like, I don't know if I'm gonna, like, really, like, make myself too comfortable here, because, like, it seems like our comfortables are not the same thing, right? And I don't think that's anything personal, but like, you know, we all have close friends or family or people that we deeply love, but it's like, I couldn't fucking live with you, or I can't live with you. Oh dude, like real shit, like that's so fucking awkward when like you have a house guest situation and then during the stay you realize that y'all are not like compatible in like a residential sense. You know, like you have these fucking homies and you love them dearly, but like you go on a vacation or like they come to crash with you or you crash with them. And then you quickly realize like, oh, we've never like stayed together for this long and I cannot do it, you know? And obviously there's like a lot of factors that can play into like, you know, the events surrounding someone staying at your place, right? It could be positive or like, let's be real, it could be negative. And so like, I don't know. It's just really fun for me to try and like think of all the different people in my life and like how I would act if I had to crash there, or like how I act when I do crash there, right? And it's cool. Like it really is like, it's something that we all have to deal with. And I think that it is something that like really is like person by person is very individualistic in nature because your relationships with everyone are completely different. And so like, you know, with that, like how you act when you stay with someone for an elongated time or a large amount of time, god damn it, a long time, you know, it changes. It's like a whole fucking thing, you know? And so it's fucking cool. It's very interesting. It's interesting to see how people do that shit. I'm rambling now, so the episode is over. If you like the show, please subscribe and give us a good rating. It means a lot to us when people do that, and that's the best thing you can do for the show. Tell your friends. People have been doing that. It's fucking awesome. We've been getting more listeners. We really, really, really appreciate it. If you like the Hatening, you can find it on all social media platforms. And from there, you can find the individual profiles of myself and super producer Andrew. Remember to take care of yourself and the people around you, and don't forget to tell your friends you love them.